Hey, it appears that the idol of Nintendo has now fallen face flat and shattered into a million pieces after people are starting to see, like, yo, this company is in it for just themselves with very minimal value to their consumers. Now, I have to say ahead of time, before I get jumped on this video, is I'm not so aware of Nintendo's ecosystem and what they offer. I'm just going to be straight up with you. But as a PC gamer, I already see their business model in terms of value as highly inferior. There is just no way you can tell me that Nintendo does anything that is close to what we get on PC. Shoot, I'd even take a PlayStation over Nintendo anytime, any day. That's just the reality. And this is VG, okay? I will take a PlayStation over Nintendo because on the PlayStation side, there are ways around stuff. They face a different kind of market saturation that still brings everybody down to earth. You feel me? So there is still where I know, okay, even though PlayStation may also be able to posture like Nintendo in terms of wanting to gouge the customer, market forces still temper Nintendo down. PlayStation down, and has basically put them in a really interesting place lately. Nintendo, on the other hand, well, I guess they've been sniffing their own supply, and hopefully we get to see if their supply might carry them through this market change that we're seeing right now. There are other few things that have been going on. Richard Hogue of Hogue Law said that may be the most I've been disappointed in Nintendo. A 2-month teaser placeholder for that. Then Mike Ibarra, interestingly, this guy, wasn't he the Blizzard guy back in the day? President Blizzard Entertainment, VP Microsoft, Windows and Xbox, blah, 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 blah. Bro said, I basically play Mario and Zelda on it. Switch 2 will cost more. Same low frames, $80 games, etc. I'll stick with PC and skip Mario and Zelda for a while. Now, he's got a point. However, bro actually did go ahead and at one point, kind of encouraged, paying more for these games, which is funny. And oh no, it's Alex basically gave him this you bro and a screenshot of what he said back in the day. I've thought about this idea for a while as a player since I've been diving into single player games lately. When I beat a game, there's some that just leave me in awe of how amazing the experience was. At the end of the game, I've often thought, I wish I could give these folks another 10 or 20 because it was worth more than my initial $70. I didn't try to nickel and dime me every second. Now, what's crazy is him saying this actually is, in a sense, filtering out a lot of what Nintendo was doing. The nickeling and the diming is him pretty much in his mind being consistent. But then he said games like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Elden Ring, etc. I know 70 is already a lot, but it's an option. At the end of the game, I wish I had at times. Some games are that special. Well, some developers are also that special, and the developers at Elden Ring are not asking you for anything else. They just said, here's our DLC, which just had so much content for the price, actually, that you could have easily just been fine, and they would have been fine because their game sold itself. And then they said, I know most will dislike this idea. By the way, I realize we're tired of tipping in everything else, but I view this differently from a pressure to tip type scenario many face and give feedback on. Well, you don't let that kitty cat out of the bag, so now you're going to have to hold it because many of you were singing the praises of these companies and the $90 and $100 games. So I guess, it's what do I call it? It's a prayer that, has been answered and you guys are now wanting to run. Don't run, Mr. Ibarra. By all means, hang in there. And those of you who are always worshiping Nintendo and want to be disappointed now, don't run. If you always like Nintendo's proposition and this is actually okay for you, then again, like I said, do you, man. And I've always encouraged that people should do what they wish to do with their own money. So let's also ensure that that's something that, I'm not getting mistaken on. I mean, please feel free to enjoy yourself because, again, it's expendable income for you. It's not necessary. And so I don't want to be the person that spoils your fun, if you get what I mean. But one specific video clip kind of caught my attention in all of this. And to me, guys, I just don't know what to say to a lot of the so-called PlayStation, talking heads that are now questioning everything Nintendo is doing from a value perspective when many of them did not question what PlayStation was doing from a value perspective, as PlayStation's value equally sucked. Like if you think about it, like and I'm not just saying that PlayStation's value sucked in a vacuum. I'm saying that it sucked in the presence of Xbox and PC as platforms overall. Like, PC is renegade, it's all over the place, but Xbox is more, in this little bottle with their Game Pass thing that they were doing, their cross entitlements that they were doing, their $2.99 console that got dragged through the mud by every single one of these so-called people, and now they want to question what Nintendo is doing. Astro Cyborg clipped this and said Persona versus everybody that totally isn't complaining about the Switch 2 console price. Of which, I honestly, I couldn't be bothered what the console price for the Switch 2 is. Any console price can come out there and do what it wants. I'm just going to ignore it and go buy me a new GPU or CPU. Feel me? $449, that is the price of basically a 9800X 3D. That's all I see. I don't see a Switch. I see a 9800X 3D, and I would love to grab one of those. Hopefully, budget committee can approve that. So let's listen to what Persona Speaks says.
Now listen, this is where we need to have a conversation, right? And this is just a hypothetical. I'm just asking questions. Your evolution, what's good, man? I'm just asking questions because I really want to understand from the community, right? $449 for the Switch. $50 more gets you a physical version PlayStation 5.
Bruh, we can buy you a $100 old Dell Optiplex, and you got literally $350 for your GPU. And you're a PC gamer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now y'all want to talk value? And my ears ringing? I don't know. For those of you who don't know what the old Dell Optiplex is, these are like really nice PCs that have been used by corporations or educational institutions or medical institutions that they basically want to do away with. Their IT teams, when they do like a refresh, they basically sell all those hardware for cheap, or in many cases they donate them. Those hardware will make their way on eBay for scrap, $80, $100, and you buy it. It has a nice CPU and everything already set, and you go buy a GPU and slap in there. You can do something like that for $445 is a luxury, even if you did something like that, because the GPU will be super nice. So that's basically what I'm pointing towards here.
Do the price points equate? And if you get an all digital, you're paying the same price. I'm just asking, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just asking questions because I like to ask questions and I like to understand.
So let me go ahead and help this gentleman out. This is the problem that I've always seen with closed ecosystems, and many people also realize that this is a challenge with closed ecosystems. Once you're in a closed ecosystem, you're basically you're basically going to dance to their will. And Nintendo literally understands its nostalgia, and everyone in the Nintendo ecosystem must dance to its will. The moment I kind of detected this, I immediately said, nah, man, that's how I am. I do not want to dance to your will when I'm giving you money. You get to dance to my own will because I'm paying you. And if you're not going to do that, or at least give me something that is valuable, that's the end. And it's just the reality. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, no one is forcing anybody to do any. It's not it's one of those things where it's an optional transaction. But I mean, bro, a dollar is a dollar, man. It's not easy to come by these things these days. And it's never been easy, don't get me wrong. But even if, we were swimming in the freaking thing, does that mean we should just go ahead and throw it at you? I mean, if I still remember Warren Buffett's wife, of which I am not in anywhere in the same sphere as the woman and her wealth, where she was complaining about a cup of coffee at a billionaires conference costing $4. She was basically saying, even if we may be swimming in the freaking thing, doesn't mean we need to give you $4 for bitter water. You know what I mean? And so that's where I'm basically looking at, our so-called PlayStation, community and saying, what is this talk about value that y'all are doing right now? Because y'all jumped headfirst and yelled at everybody that pretty much just side-eyed the PS5 Pro. No. No. I don't think value should be, because y'all said you were high rollers. You buy games. I'm not saying that Persona did it, but you said you want to hear how the community is thinking, right? Well, from what we've seen from the community thinking, they called people who were trying to get into value poor by saying that they were basically in poor pass, rent pass, that they didn't buy games. They were insulted for loving value. So now we want to go ahead and now, basically, in a sense, inquire of the value proposition of the Nintendo Switch. Color me shocked.
How the community is thinking. $449 for a Switch 2 or $449 for a PlayStation 5. Now remember the arguments, ladies and gentlemen.
What are the arguments?
And again, the price increase that PlayStation 5 did, obviously we talked about that when that initially happened from $400 to $450 or $449, anti-consumer. But remember at that time, what were people trying to say?
What?
Well, what about little Billy and little Sally? Mom could barely afford to put food on the table.
I don't know about these arguments. The only argument that I know about is both of them are basically of zero value compared to what is already on the market. That's just the reality. Like when we equate it, it's insane. I mean, not only are you going to buy this thing for $449, we're also going to have to pretend that other services that are going to give you way more, like the $299 Xbox Series S, that is a much better hardware piece that has availability of not only Xbox first-party games with the subscription service and also some third-party games with the subscription service should you choose, or you have the opportunity to get out there and get in on the sales and on the discounts, which on average are nothing close to the same sphere of expense as Nintendo sales. Nintendo sales are in quotes. That's how their games are. I told y'all though, Astral Chain. Let me see. I've been trying to play this freaking game for years. Astral Chain. Let me see how much I can get this game for. Let's go to shopping. Let me see who's going to sell me Astral Chain. Bruh, they want to sell this game for $29 on eBay. $30. Oh, look, somebody has it for $15 over here. Bruh, this game has been out for so many years. Okay, I get it. Those of you who are Astral Chain people, you swear to me. You say, man, VG, this is one of those games. I'm like, I know, though. I've not played it. I would love to, but guys, come on. This is a 2019 game. What are we talking about here, man? I mean, for this particular title to stay at this price point, for such a long time, bro, I done bought freaking RoboCop and, Steel Rising for $9.99. Like, there's just many other games that showed up under the $10 mark that I'm like, well, first I got to get through the huddle of going to yank the Switch from the kids and then go buy it. Nah, we're not doing that. I am straight up not doing that. You feel me? So it's just so funny that I'm going to hear this value talk here today. Interesting.
Remember those arguments that people were using? Of how 400 or more than that is too much? Remember they were using little Billy and little Sally who got to eat pork and beans out of a, bush baked beans out of a goddamn can. Can't even heat them shits up. You just eat it raw out of the can. Huh?
But you see, many PlayStation players have fostered this notion that they are high rollers and they spend money on the games they make. In fact, the more recent one was Colin Moriarty when he did his Icarus video. Do y'all remember that somewhere in the video, he basically ran and scrolled through his receipts on PlayStation? Do y'all remember where he said if others were spending like him, we wouldn't even be having this conversation? He thought that was a flex. So again, you can't walk back this genie that y'all have let out the bottle. Like if you want to hear what the community is thinking, everybody is looking at PlayStation players going, huh? Y'all postured that you spent money, you bought games, you were fine with the remastered and you positioned yourself as we did. Oh man, sorry, Mr. Persona Speaks, but this is gonna look weird.
Mom and dad don't know when their next meal going to be, can't make rent, but was trying to use that as the argument for why the price increase is anti-consumer. Remember that.
The price increases are anti-consumer. I mean, what else? Not Johnny can't eat beans from a can that's heated or not. I don't know what's going on here.
Now that was wrong. I agree, but
Oh, okay. So, I mean, what are we talking about here then?
now you're looking at a Switch 2 at the same price. Is that too much? I'm just asking questions.
I mean, if anybody wants to know, as a PC gamer, I don't know who asked me, but if anybody wants to know, it is way too much. And again, like I said to y'all, I don't really know much about the Nintendo ecosystem, nor is it something that's in my priority. Again, I'm not so fond of the company too. So if you're hearing me talk, please consider it may be from ignorance and a little bit of pettiness against the company. However, from a mathematical perspective, how do I see a Steam Deck and I look at this particular device and go, oh yeah, nah, I'm sorry, no.
Remember, Little Silly and Little Little Silly and Little Sally and Little Timmy. Mom, I'm just asking questions. That's all I'm doing is asking questions. 'Cause I need to know. Now, I'm not surprised at the $450 price tag, $449 price. I'm not surprised at all. More is going into it. There's more stuff or whatever. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. But that's a lot of money. According to a lot of people, that's a lot of money.
Well, is it a lot of money, or is it a lot of money according to a lot of people? Or is it a lot of money for a Nintendo Switch? Or is it a lot of money for a Nintendo Switch according to a lot of people? Because what would you equate it to, though? Another closed ecosystem console? See, this Nintendo Switch reveal is about to make some of these PlayStation fanboys basically destroy their own argument because of some, I don't know what it is. I think most PlayStation fans just need to just sit this one out. It will be best for them so that maybe PC players can come in and like do a little bit of roasting and taking some, cheap shots at Nintendo for all of these different things. Because in their minds, they championed almost all the things that are being seen today. That's why they have to come out here and talk to their, the detractors that told them back then, and they want to say, well, when we said it back then and you said this, how about this now? That's what they're trying to do. It's literally what they're trying to do, and it just is not going to pretty much work out for them because everybody can see that they unleashed the fury today in terms of all kinds of nickel and dime, enterprises on their Nintendo customers. That's what they did. Now, again, like I said, it's your choice. You do whatever it is that you want to do. We've been there with AMD. We've been there with NVIDIA too. We've been there with all of them. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Talk to me in the comment section. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully we can talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.